Hi, welcome to Sugar Free. This is an all signs reading with no plan at all, apart from I'm going to do a spread and do a reading. I've got a really kind of open book feeling about this, and I've got no kind of route to follow except the structure of the reading itself. So with that said, I'll just talk you through these various piles. Here I'm laying out the minor arcana of the Rider-Waite split into its suits. And I'm going to use these to drill down into the energy. I'm going to pull 3 major arcana from this deck, which is the Ancient Italian Tarot. Very kindly gifted to me by a very, very, very dear person. I won't even say a friend, more than a friend. And I've been using this deck for a long time now. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to pull 3 of these. The first one's going to be the kind of immediate energetic snapshot. The second one is going to be the hidden energy. And the third one's going to be the bigger picture. This is the major arcana of the Rider-Waite, all shuffled, all like this way and that in terms of upright and reversals, as is this deck. And I might use this to cap off the reading. I've also got some oracles which I might consult. So let's crack on with this. So yeah, this is all shuffled. I'm recording this on the 9th of January. So, you know, we're into it. 2024 is up and running. And you know, we might already be seeing the fruits of resolutions, as they are called, or we might be kind of starting to experience them tapering off or whatever. Who knows? Who knows? But the journey has started through this year, and I'm just not going to say anything more because I really don't have any idea what this reading is going to be about. Maybe that's what it's about. Let's find out. Okay. So 3 major arcana. Okay, we've got the High Priestess in reverse. Well, there's not knowing. That's not knowing for you. The High Priestess in reverse. I mean, this is so early in the major arcana. It's card number 2. We've had the Fool, we've had the Magician, then we have the High Priestess. This is the knowing that one is oneself, basically. The Fool card, the 0 card, is sort of about the pure being. That's it. It's just pure being, existence, the very kind of proto-fundamental form of existence. Then we move to card number 1, the Magician, which is about capacity, the ability to make stuff happen. And I mean, I remember very, very clearly when I was about 5, I would say, something like that, 4 or 5 years old, playing in the sandpit in the garden and picking up these handfuls of damp sand and squidging them in my hands, and then opening my hands up and looking at the shapes that my hands, my scrunched up hands, had made on this very fine sand. And I suddenly, in looking at it, and I saw, you know, the lines of my fingers, my fingerprints, and all the creases and everything, like kind of impressed on this sand. And I suddenly realized that I had the capacity to create changes in the world, and that capacity was completely my own. It was a bit like the ego coming online. And that's what happens when we get to card number 2 here. We realize that we have the power of being who and what we are, that existing affords us certain capacities and powers, and that they are ours to wield. It's in reverse. So there's, I don't know, I would say maybe just some sort of doubt or uncertainty. hidden energy, the world in reverse, yeah, and it's holding us back. It's holding us back. It's making us feel like a sort of dog day afternoon, like Groundhog Day. And final outcome, fall in reverse. Well, maybe we decide not to go ahead with something. I was just talking about the Fool, and here we've got in the middle position the last card of the Major Arcana, and topping out the reading is the first card of the Major Arcana, both in the reverse. Sticky old energy. Let's start clarifying straight away. See if we can cheer this up a little bit. Retentiveness, the Four of Pentacles. This is the not getting in the flow with the coming and going of power in the world. Staying out of that city where all the trading's happening and just sitting on the edge with all your coins. It's got to come out at some point. Let's keep going. I was going to use the full kind of psychiatric or psychotherapeutic word around this, the word that usually goes before the word retentiveness, but I thought I'd better not. I thought it was a bit early for that. Four of Wands. Yeah, I would say kind of holding on to what we already know, what we've already built. There's an unwillingness to take a risk and invest here. Six of Swords. And yet there is a wish to move into some sort of new territory. There's a wish for it. There's a motivation for it. But we're still sort of turning it over in our minds. But something's been set in motion in our mind. And it's something that really, really could change everything. And that's why we got the world in reverse here. I mean, the world card in the Major Arcana is about the totality of fulfillment. The completed gestalt, if I can use another psychotherapeutic term. But yeah, it's in the reverse. So it's still in the mind here, but it has set off in motion. And this Four of Pentacles here with this kind of rather churlish refusal to get in with the flow. But perhaps, I mean, there's fear here. There's fear that if we invest one pentacle and it goes wrong, we're only going to have three left, basically. But, you know, what's the point of sitting there like that? What's the point? So it's in the mind. It's in our minds to move into some sort of new territory. And the Nine of Cups. Yeah, we are afraid. Perhaps we're afraid we don't have the emotional strength to carry it through. And we'll just stick with what we've got. And we've got a lot. You know, we're not, I'm not saying anything in a bad position here, but this Six of Swords is very, very telling. And that's why it's the High Priestess that's in the reverse here, because this is about the, you know, the certainty in the mind, the certainty in the body mind, and kind of in conjunction with the soul. So it's, you know, there's a lot of heart energy here, but it's in the reverse. So, you know, are we prepared to get in this boat and move to new territory, or are we going to stay here in the Four of Wands in what we've already established? Because there's something about this clearly that isn't doing it for us. And I think it's about long-term things. Again, with the world here and the fact that we've got the last and the first card here, it's something about some fundamental sort of shift. And the word I'm getting for this Four of Wands here in this reading is stale. There's a kind of stale energy about this. And I don't know, maybe it's more this Nine of Cups, rather than it being about a fear that we haven't got enough to give, is that we really, really do have a lot to give. And we'd like to move it through to the Knight of Cups, where we actually get on the horse and take the cup out to offer it because we're sure. So there's a kind of push me, pull you, like stay as you are, and juxtapose with this, you know, make something new happen. Something new is brewing in the mind, and it is to do with our emotional wealth. There's a bit of tension here. Let's go into the world in reverse. So if you remember, this is the hidden energy, what's going on kind of around the back of the karmic curtain, shall we say, that we're not aware of necessarily in a distinct sort of way, but is nonetheless there exerting some sort of influence. I think we're going to find out more about why this juxtaposition is here. It seems to me there's a lot riding on it. There's a lot riding on it. And I mean, to have built up 4 pentacles here, it's not a whole heap of pentacles, but it's more than 3. And 3's more than 2. 2's more than 1, and 1's more than none. You know, it's like, is it time to take the next step? Because there's clearly a step in mind. Queen of Pentacles. This is what we see as being possible. This informs this Six of Swords. This is the direction of travel, comfort, abundance, security, and the authority of ownership. I mean, she owns that pentacle. She ain't borrowed it. She ain't got it on tick. It's hers. She birthed it, mate. She birthed it. It means a lot. This is like the Empress card from the Major Arcana. So there's a lot, as I said, there's a lot riding on this. There's a sense of the possibility that this journey here in the Six of Swords could lead to this. But if anything, perhaps this is so sort of crucial, perhaps an element of sort of all or nothing, that in itself, the potential of this journey is so great that there's a fear to step out and take the first step. But we see, and I really have here in the Page of Wands, I have here a sense of acceptance that it is the first step that starts the journey. So I was banging about in a previous reading about a journey having 2 dimensions. You know, it is the movement from the start to the finish, but it is also each individual step. And this is about an acknowledgement of the individual step. And I get here that we actually know what that individual step is, but we're still holding back. Maybe for now, this is all we can do, is take one step. And we're taking a step into, you know, the learning of something new, or the establishment of something new. But we're right at the beginning. But we know what that first step is. Queen of Swords. Do you know what comes to my mind for this? It's never come before. It's speaking up for ourselves. As the as the popular phrase goes, speaking our own truth. And I wonder whether there's a sense, to use another phrase, where this 4 of Pentacles and this 4 of Wands energy here, that is that the things as they stand no longer serve us. And we can clearly elucidate the motivation that we have, that we see here in this Six of Swords. and the wish to gain this security and majesty and stability here in the Queen of Pentacles. And knowing what the first step, we can talk it. We have got it clear in the mind. And again, I'm not seeing anything dodgy here. This is just like reticence to move forward with something. And I mean, I don't know, I don't want to get too sort of personal, but I mean, I'm aware now at the age that I am, I'm 59 this year, is that any new projects that I undertake that are going to cost me energy and time and money in order to build something for myself, it is getting to the point now where it is like basically, it is basically shit or bust, because I don't have time to go on experimenting and perhaps fail. The time simply isn't there anymore. Never mind the bloody resources. I mean, resources can be sort of got hold of somehow or other, but time, yeah, you can't go buying that. You really can't. So perhaps the stakes feel very, very high here, but we're very clear about the reasons for this. And we've got these two queens here, so there's great authority. And I mean, maybe with this world in the reverse, is that, you know, what we need to attain, and maybe this links in with the Fool in reverse as well, is already in our possession, Queen of Pentacles. And yet it's what's already in our position that is acting like a bit of a drag on this forward motion here in the Six of Swords. This kind of the attitude that we have to what we've already got is acting like a dead weight. It's acting like a blocker because we feel so new. It's so new. Page of Wands, like going into this new like area, and yet we know exactly why we want to do it, how it works, and what the motivation is. And like I said, I don't see anything like neggy here at all. I just see fear, basically. Okay. Six of Cups. I haven't seen that for ages. There's a sense here that fulfilling this and starting out on this journey with the Page of Wands here is somehow sort of right. There's something like natural about it. It's something sort of deserved about it. And I think it lends a beautiful sweetness to the energy of the Queen of Swords here, who can be sort of quite cold sometimes. But there's a sweetness to this. And again, this is like the childhood sweetheart card, as it's often popularly known. And, you know, there's a great tenderness to it. And it's something that's already there inside us. It's a wish to give. And here we know that we have the capacity to give. We got something to give here and we want to give it. Let's see if I'm right about this link up here with the World in reverse and the Fool in reverse. When I said that perhaps this World in the reverse in conjunction with Fool in reverse is to do with the means already being present and no need, that it's not actually a big kind of change that we're envisaging here in the Six of Swords and the Page of Wands. It's not. It's natural. Perhaps it's just a tiny adjustment. Let's have a look. Eight of Pentacles. We've put in the work. Maybe I'm right about this. We've got a shitload more than we think we have. We've got much more capacity than we think we have. The Queen of Pentacles knows that. We've gone from the 4 to the 8 via the Queen. And it is absolutely within our power, Page of Wands, to make it happen. Basically to double our money, if you like, but it's going to take some effort. Perhaps that's what's really frightening. Let's move on. Yeah, okay, fancy that. 9 of Wands. I'm just going to keep going because, I mean, that is just... There's an element of PTSD or CPTSD about this 9 of Wands. Like, is amygdala is like going off every time a flipping dog barks. He's jumping out of his skin. He lacks appropriate confidence. And that wall, that barrier he's got up is not appropriate. And we know it's not appropriate because his motivation for keeping that wall up is based on a flipping over-triggered amygdala. Like too much fight flight going on. There's like this tension about it, and it's just like, no, just stay here, stay here, stay here. Oh my God, what's that type thing? Okay, I'll keep going. Stop channeling the dude in the 9 of Wands, and now we have the 10 of Swords. Yeah, it's done. We've look, whatever this is in the Six of Swords here and the Page of Wands, it is, you know, it's really big in some senses, but I think we've already taken the flipping decision. We know what we're going to do. We know what we're going to do, and I think, if anything, the key card so far is this 8 of Pentacles. Because, you know, if you are basically like capable, and we do see capacity here. I mean, there's some like little like fears about it because this is a page and not a king. But, you know, we've got a lot to give and we want to give. That motivation is there. And I mean, if the motivation isn't there, then nothing is there. Motivation is all. We've already decided we know what we're going to do. This is like this. There's nothing more to discuss here. We've been over it, 10 of Swords, so many times we've been over it. We know it's like it's cooked, mate. It's ready to go, ready to get out of the oven and make happen. And there we are. 2 of Cups. You know, this beautiful, sweet, nostalgic kind of sense of it being right to give is borne out as others. We've got the 2 children here. Look, we've got the children here making an exchange. Let me just have a closer look at this. We've got giving and receiving here, and we've got giving and receiving here. It has grown up, okay? It has grown up and it's still with us, and that's why we have so much wealth in the 9 of Cups here. You know you're going to do it, whatever it is. So in a way that, you know, maybe just like one phone call, one email, one action to be taken. Page of Swords, just the one. Because we know we want to do it. We've got the capacity to do it. We have to get over this fear, and we have to understand that when fear comes up in us in a kind of preemptive way, because I mean, fear, there are different types of fear. Like, if you're driving along the motorway and suddenly you see like a lorry barreling towards you in your rear view mirror, clearly out of control at fucking 90 miles an hour, that's fear. You're going to feel fear because you think you're probably going to die soon. You're probably not even thinking that. It's just like visceral root chakra fear. But there's another type of fear, which is more like anxiety, which is when you view the prospect of something in your mind and things sort of like tighten in you, and then you like just push it, tighten up and like, oh, like this, and then you just push that thing away. But it keeps coming back because it's wanted. It's that type of fear. And when fear is a kind of automatic response to the idea of something new, Six of Swords, Page of Wands, and something that your rational mind knows you're well capable of managing to do, of manifesting, of making happen, of succeeding at, because you know how to graft. And it's all this. The only thing here is this Nine of Wands. And what I'm getting around to saying is that when fear and anxiety comes up, like in a kind of habitual way, then you know it's not necessarily a good idea to act on that fear. It's that amygdala just like tripping off because that's what it does. If you can notice when your fears are connected to real events, like a truck barreling towards you on the motorway out of control at 90 miles an hour, when it's fear connected to a real event or fear connected to an imaginary event, that you need to take a closer look at, because those habitual blocks that we put up, those anxieties, the voice that says, no, don't do that, because if it goes wrong, like you're a bit effed. You know, I'm not saying ignore that voice, but have a look at it, because when it's just like a mental knee-jerk reaction, you need to look more at it, because that can really, really block us in life and prevent us from getting in the flow here. We stay in one place, we get stale, and you know, sometimes the staler we get and the more used we get to things being a certain way, the bigger this fence gets in the Nine of Wands when we think about moving through into a new thing. But we know we want to do it, and we've got the capacity to do it. Wonderful, wonderful. I'm going to pull one from the Wild Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild to cap this off. Really, really lovely oracle. And Kuan Yin is linked to the Tibetan Buddhist deity Green Tara. And Kuan Yin is the cousin from the Mongolian plains of Green Tara. And Green Tara is my like fundamental deity. And I've been propitiating her through her mantra every day since the spring of 2013. So I'm going to, sorry, I'm just trying to work out what on earth I'm doing with this deck. I'm just going to split it there. All that said, I feel perfectly comfortable with the energy of Kuan Yin. So that's the one. Let's have a look. Let's see what Kuan Yin stroke Tara can guide us towards. Because, you know, it takes us, there's self-belief required when we're standing behind that fence. Everything else is ready. Everything's in flipping place, mate. It's just this fear. When we're standing behind that and the amygdala is going, wah, 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 it is. It's like, hold on a minute, hold on a minute. How dangerous is this actually? As I said, you know, the means are there. They are connected with work, of course. I mean, it's all work, isn't it? But it translates here into this beautiful giving and receiving of love. And I'm not even seeing anything bad in the Ten of Swords. This is just like, I'm not seeing anything bad at all. It's just a bit sad. I mean, this Ten of Swords is, like I said, you know, we know there's no more debate to be had about this. We want to take this journey. So let's see what we get. Okay, we've got the Snow Shepherdess. So what we have here is someone who is skilled. Someone who is skilled and someone who has the ability to work in very difficult conditions with complete confidence. So I was right here about the reason these two cards are in the reverse is because we already have the skills and knowledge that we need to take this forward. Now, what would happen if this Snow Shepherdess woke up in her yurt at 4 o'clock in the morning, usual time, and lay in bed thinking, what if one of the sheep's gone missing? Or what if one of them slips on a rock today and breaks their leg? Or, you know, what if there's a baby born in the middle of a snowstorm, like a lamb born in the middle of, you know, all of these what ifs, what ifs, what ifs. And she then decides, thinks, oh God, I can't like handle the anxiety. I'm just going to stay in bed. No, she ain't going to do that. She knows what she's got to do. She knows the value of it. She knows the reason for it. She's flipping well hard and she's been training all her life to do this job. And even if something does go wrong, because things sometimes do go wrong, no one is gonna berate her for that. She's really good at what she does. She has everything she needs to do the job. I'm trying to get that blue light over her throat chakra. There it is. She has everything she needs to do that job. I'm distracting myself. Everything she needs is already with her. And investing in anxiety is a massively destructive thing to do. Because if she invests in that anxiety, it is guaranteed that the sheep out there in the snow won't make it. It's guaranteed. So if you invest in what is not guaranteed, because because your anxiety is so uncomfortable that you just sort of go, oh, okay, anxiety, you win. It is certain that the thing that is being thought about here in this Six of Swords and the Page of Wands won't happen. It's a really, really simple formula, this. If you invest in your fears, the only certain outcome is that the thing that you wanted to do but were too frightened to do, you will not do. Everything else is up for grabs. Every other aspect of it is up for grabs. The only thing that's certain, if you're scared of what might happen and you let that fear win, it won't happen. The thing that you were thinking of won't happen. If you're scared of something going wrong, the whole thing is effed. Don't make that mistake. She wouldn't. She's well hard. That's Wild Kuan Yin. Her mantra is Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa, Namo Quan Shi Yin Pusa. Om and salutations to she who hears the cries of the suffering. There's no way would she lie in bed thinking, oh my God, I can hear the lambs bleating. The silence of the lambs will be no comfort to her at all. So there's just no question. She's out of bed and she's doing her job, even if it could go wrong, because she knows how to do it and she wants to do it. End of. Right, I'm going to leave that there. Thank you so much for watching. All the best, and I'll see you again soon. Bye-bye.